Harry.
In 1,000 feet, use the right 2 lanes to keep right.
Amazing. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's June 22, 2021. You have made it to possibly the most overlooked and underrated coaching conversation on the internet. And that's because we're going to be talking about you and your future and all of that necessary unnoticed preparation that's going to go into the epic story that you're going to be living out. My name is Peter, and I'm so grateful to be spending this time with you. We're going to dive right into some great content, but before that, I want to explain what is Prepare to Go There and how do you take the next step. So Prepare to Go There is an invitation. It's an invitation for friends and leaders alike who want to prepare for the future. They want to lead themselves. They want to lead by example, and they want to leave a legacy that's worth carrying on. And, this is basically just an ode to the basic and the boring that will ultimately turn into the brave and the bold, the things that shape us along the way, the things that make us before anyone even knows what we've been up to. And, when people think of leadership, they think of the platforms, they think of the crowds, they think of the big opportunities or the big milestone moments, the mountaintop victories that go on. But there is a hidden life that leaders have to go through. And I'm not talking about, secret shame or, secret sins. I'm talking about doing the right thing just because it's right, putting in the work when no one else is around, leading yourself. And then ultimately, you can continue to lead with an example, and others, they want to be a part of that. And so I want to invite you just to join this coaching journey. I'm committed just to keep showing up, to keep encouraging you, to keep coaching you, to keep sharing just from, the experiences that I've been walking with. But this is not going to be something super fancy. It's just the necessary motivation to keep putting in the basics, to keep doing the foundational things that make us strong for the long haul. And so thank you for being on with this project, and welcome to the future frontier, right? We love talking about what's possible. We love dreaming up what could be, should be done to make the world better, to change people's lives, to serve others well, to make an impact. But do we actually know how to get there? Like, if you're a leader, it means that people are expecting you to show them a new way, a better way into a future they couldn't experience before. And yet I have found that so many leaders, they want to lead people into a better future, but they don't know how to lead themselves there first. And so this is that conversation that's just going to be working on self-leadership, the principles, the practices that help you level up before anyone ever notices. And so that's why I want to congratulate you. If you have found this live stream, congrats, because it is hard to find for a reason. See, I'm convinced that real growth starts underground. And if we will have just the contentment and that tenacity to keep contending, we can accomplish, we can experience amazing things. And so I want to invite you to really take the onus of leading yourself, preparing for the future, thinking ahead now. You know why? Because most people are waiting for things that are waiting on them. Wow. Think about it. Most people are waiting on the very things that they could be working towards, that they could be investing themselves into, that they could be growing towards. And they think that this is just some game of wait around until it's your turn, until it's your time. And then suddenly you're just going to be the heir apparent for whatever it is, like the better physique or the girl or the guy or the job, or like, it's not just going to land in your lap. You have to do something right now. In fact, if you'll be willing to take advantage of the time you have right now, you will be shocked at how far you can really go. And so I want to invite you to join the email community. There is a sign in at the bottom. This is my way of knowing who wants to go the long haul, who wants to put in this work, who wants to join this conversation, who wants to lead themselves, prepare for the future, who's excited about what is possible together. And I call you guys and gals the future friends because, number one, I realize that I have yet to meet many of you, but I look forward to that. But I also am just really, excited and jazzed whenever I can listen to people talk about their dreams, talk about where they feel they're called to show up in the future, and how they're going to serve others, and how they're going to solve problems, and how they're going to make a difference and go the distance. Like, that gets me so fired up, as long as we have this shared understanding that it's great to start talking about the future, as long as we are talking on the way there, right? I'm all down for a walking, talking conversation, but I'm not down just to sit idly and listen as people, or someone's droning on and on and on. Instead, how are we going to get there? Like, let's go for it. Like, the future is not just some abstract idea. It's not just sci-fi. It's not just, fiction. This is your life. This is the one life you have. Let's make it count. Let's pioneer. And so the future friends are going to get all the emails that share the content and the community updates and the coaching that's happening. And at this point, I'm essentially a one-man band, but I'm so eager to connect with y'all. And there's going to be some new opportunities. In fact, I'm working on a coaching product right now, an online course right now that will be a huge resource for you. It's taken me years just to kind of figure out how I would share this and communicate this in a way that would be helpful. But it's things that I've been putting to use, putting into practice for years. And so I'm looking forward to give it to you real soon. And there will be incentives and there will be updates that are only going to the email community. So please check that out. Also, I have a free gift for you just for being here, just for listening, just for putting in the work. Thank you. And I want you to get your free fail-proof planning guide. And what it's going to do is hopefully help you change your mindset on unexpected circumstances. What do you do when the unexpected happens? Instead of banking on just having one bulletproof plan, like this is the only way my life can go, or else everything is a loss. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to think that way. Instead, you can get the mindset and the skill set that can help you have a fail-proof planning process. It's not just about making one perfect plan, but it's about perfecting your approach to the future, perfecting your planning process. And then it just becomes like, muscle memory or something. You step in to that zone and you say, okay, I know how to adapt. I know how to think agile and not think fragile. I'm going to navigate the unknowns and I'm going to stay focused on my objectives, my outcome, my destination, where I'm going. The horizon is always going to stay in my front view, and I'm not going to get bogged down by all of the discouragement and the negativity around me. I'm going to continue. And when you have that kind of mindset matched with the appropriate tools, the appropriate tactics, you are fail-proof. And so my wife and I, Sarah Joy, put this project together for you. And so it's really the best of both of our strengths. And we just really appreciate y'all. We're rooting for you. We want you to lead. We want you to succeed. And so this is one tangible way to show our support and to say, just get into the content. You can drop in your email, download it, and you get the content immediately. And it'll help you with some day-to-day planning, but it will also help you with some high-level goal setting, which is great. And so that is from us to you. Now, we're going to dive into the content. But before that, here's a quote. Alan Turing said, "We can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see plenty there that needs to be done." Boom. That's prepare to go there, right there. Like, that's the whole point. Hey, we're learning how to lean forward. We're learning how to have a hope-filled approach to the future. We're not holding back. We're not leaning back. We're not shying away. We're not adverse to opposition or opportunities that may lay in front of us, but we're actually leaning forward with a pioneering approach, with a pioneering spirit, and we're saying, let's go for it. We can achieve, we can accomplish so much more, and we're going to put in the necessary and yet unnoticed preparation to get from where we are to where we can be. This is an amazing insight to help you begin to pioneer, begin to prepare your life for a great future. We can only see a short distance ahead, even if it's, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Guys, even that is very short. But by doing that, by learning how to look ahead, by learning how to anticipate and how to participate with the future, we can begin to see plenty there that needs to be done. And so don't be idle. Don't procrastinate, but take every challenge with with a sense of just a gung-ho attitude. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. As in Texas, you'll hear a phrase running around, it'll say, get her done. Get her done, man. Let's go. And so I realized that we just started summer. It's mid-June, but apparently the first day of summer was just a day or two ago. I just realized that. And I want to ask you a question. Have you started to feel the summer days yet? How many of you enjoy summer days? Man, I do. I enjoy the warmer weather. I enjoy hanging out with my wife at the beach, at the pool. I enjoy visiting friends and having great food. Oh my goodness, we're going to get our meat on. 4th of July, we're going to be grilling, getting some brisket, some barbecue, something. Man, it's going to be so good. I love summertime. Summer is great. But when I say summer days, I'm not just referring to all the fun. I'm kind of referring to something else. Days, the fog, the impact of letting our guard down because we think it's just going to be all fun and no work. So let me read you a definition of daze. Daze is whatever makes someone unable to think or react properly. To think or react properly. So basically, when you're in a daze, you're not really factoring in what's going on around you. When you're in a daze, I mean, I think the obvious is if you have been drinking too much and you start to get a little tipsy, a little buzz, a little out of touch, right? And you're not thinking coherently, you're not reacting appropriately. And so what's happening is you're missing out on what's happening. You're not catching responsibilities. You're not perceiving threats that may be lurking. You're not discerning, but you're also not going hard after big opportunities, big wins. You're not walking through the open doors. You're just kind of floating. You're just kind of, idling by. You're just kind of in a daze. And what's crazy about a daze is that there's always a point where you kind of snap out of it. And you say, man, what just happened? And maybe you feel the effects of that. Maybe there's a sense of regret, or maybe there's a sense of like what just happened. I remember, just a few days ago, I just had a super hard nap because, Sunday afternoon is one of the best times for a good hard nap. And man, I crashed. And when I woke up, I didn't know my name. I didn't know what day it was, time it was, what was going on. I went, I took the nap when it was light, and then I woke up and it was dark, and I was like, whoa, something changed, something happened. And if we're not aware, you'll let this whole season go by and not put any progress on the board. So don't do that. And basically what happens is we just kind of slack off, right? We just kind of say, whatever. It's all good. Yeah, and we begin to justify and rationalize and excuse ourselves. And I think this is probably the clearest when it comes to school's out. Because summertime, summer holiday in our context is when students are out of school. So, man, you can pretty much just slack for a while. You can do whatever you want. You can stay up as late as you want. You can wake up as late as you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, go wherever you want, whatever. And you begin to just kind of slack off because you have this thought, school's out. So, of course, you don't have to wake up early. Why? Because the only reason you were probably waking up early was to go to school. And you don't have to do homework because there's no teacher on duty that's looking for your homework there, and on that chain reaction begins to take its toll, and you feel totally exempt from any action, any forward motion, any personal progress, because really no one's looking over your shoulder. There's no teachers around. Maybe parents are working. Maybe, you're working remotely now, so the boss isn't always around. And it can be easy to just start slacking off. It's just part of the season of summertime, but it can represent even a season in your life as well. Slack is another way to look at it, is it's the part of a rope or a line which is not held taut. It's the loose or the unused part of the rope. The loose or unused part of the rope. When I was looking up the definition, I saw some of these synonyms. They were so colorful, I wanted to share them. Slack could be also said loose, lax, negligent, remiss, careless, slapdash, whatever that is, slipshod, all right, lackadaisical, lazy, inefficient, incompetent, inattentive, offhand, casual, disorderly, disorganized, derelict, sloppy, slap happy, do nothing, asleep at the wheel, delinquent, otois, poca, curic, something. That's slack. That's what slack feels like, looks like, sounds like, seems like. And so if you're kind of already slipping in to this mindset that, well, nobody's really expecting much of me, so I don't really have to focus on my output. I really don't have to do the habits. I really don't have to do the disciplines. I really don't have to show up. I really don't have to do much of any work. I'm kind of floating. I'm just kind of flowing, I'm just kind of doing my thing. I have a routine. I go to bed at 3. I play video games 5-6 hours. Not getting paid for it yet, but whatever. Maybe you're just kind of hanging out with friends, making memories, mixing a few regrets in there. But for real, how do you get through the summer days? How do you make the most of your summer days? You've got to pull the slack out of yourself. Like, you have to pull the slack, the unused parts of yourself. You got to pull out the unused potential, the unused purpose, the unused motivation, the unused creativity, the unused leadership, the unused dreams and growth. You got to pull all that out of yourself, because there are unused parts of our day that we're not taking advantage of. And if we'll learn how to pull the slack out of those unused parts, we'll actually move past summer days, and we're going to show up ready in the future. So like, I could come to you and I would, hopefully get to hang and talk with you a little bit and have an intentional moment and get, like a chai tea latte or something. We would sit and talk, and I would just say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Tell me what's new. And then I'd say, tell me about your mornings, and you may be like, well, it's more like mid-morning. And then I could say, tell me about your work approach. Tell me about what you're working on. Tell me about your thoughts. What's important to you right now. Or maybe I could just kind of go totally off topic and kind of push the boundaries a little bit and be like, hey, tell me your thoughts on culture right now. Tell me your thoughts on the economy right now. Tell me your thoughts on science or literature or theology. Like, have you studied up on any of that? Have you been learning? Have you been discerning? What are you feeling and sensing? How are you preparing for some of those factors? And if we're not careful, we'll just be in a summer daze and we'll just be like, because we're not paying attention to the slack that's going on in our lifestyle. And summer daze happens when you think that nobody is around to make you do stuff. And the irony of this whole thing is that when you make that mindset shift and you say, no, listen, it's not that no one is here to make me do something I do want to do or don't want to do. The reality is no one will be around to make me do what I need to do to move forward with my life, to make better decisions, to make decisions worth repeating. No one will be around. Therefore, I have to pull the slack out of myself. I have to make this choice. I have to step up. I have to own this. I have to find the motivation that pulls out the preparation, right? I have to talk to myself. If I have to show up every day and journal it out or pray it out or talk it out or work it out, I'm going to be that person who is championing the best version of myself. And then you realize, hey, not only, is no one here making me do stuff, but no one will be around to stop me from doing the wrong stuff either. And some people, man, they get in a summer daze and they're like, mwah, mwah, no one's going to stop me. I can do whatever I want. Right. And that is their license just to nosedive off the deep end and just go into all kinds of craziness and all kinds of stupidity. And they just think, well, nobody's stopping me. I can do whatever I want. I'm grown. Doing immature things doesn't make you grown. Doing stupid things on your own doesn't make you grown. Instead, you need to change that mindset and just do the opposite. Just think the opposite. Instead of saying, well, nobody's here to make me, you say, that's right. No one will be around to make you, so you have to do it for yourself. And then that other thought says, well, no one's going to stop me. Exactly. No one is stopping you from doing the right things. No one is stopping you from doing the successful things. No one is stopping you from getting ahead. No one is stopping you from taking advantage of this hidden season in your life. No one is stopping you. Like what kind of, melodramatic theater are you living in that you've built up this story that somehow everyone is stopping you and holding you back and all that? Like no one cares that much, but I mean, I'm sure somebody cares. I'm sure you have a parent or a pastor or someone who cares, but like no one cares enough to exert their time and energy to slow you down from doing what you're capable of. So just don't feed that. Don't feed those lies that lead to procrastination, but start working on a lifestyle that develops preparation. No one will make you do what you need to do. So you have to pull the slack out of yourself. Pull out the unused parts of your life. Pull out the unused potential, the unused creativity, the unused productivity, the unused leadership and strength and growth, right? Pull those parts out for yourself. It's empowering. It's wonderful. It's life-changing. And no one is stopping you from making massive progress this summer. I just wrote a blog yesterday called 5 Things to Do During Obscurity. 5 Things to Do During Obscurity. I really encourage you to go check it out. If you're on this live stream page, then it'll just be in the menu. Just click blog, or you can go to the homepage and see it. But man, what an awesome thought. Think on that thought for a little bit. Just work that thought out for a little bit. Nobody is stopping me from making massive progress this summer. You say, well, I have a job. Well, I have, I'm committed to my spouse, or my parents need me, or I have siblings, or I have kids, or I have, all these people, they're pulling on me. They need me. Yeah. But they're not the ones that are making you do things. They're not the ones stopping you from doing things. They're probably factored into your schedule, but like, you have control over that schedule, right? Like, you have some agency, you have some ownership, you have like a chance, a choice to actually steer how you're going to move forward. And summertime is one of those times where we can look up and say, wow, time flies, right? Time flies when you're having fun. But just make sure that your fun is investing in your future. And I'm all for having fun. And let's be intentional about having fun, because so many times you could just get on a treadmill and have no traction and not move forward one iota. And then you wake up and you say, dang it, I didn't have any fun this summer. I was just doing some stuff. I was just doing a routine and feeling like I was in some hamster wheel, and I wasn't really making traction with my life, and I didn't even have any fun this summer. I didn't even do anything. I didn't even, that's one side of the coin. So I get that summertime is fun and it's going to move fast. So what we have to do is we have to double down on the right mindset, and we have to focus on our future. Otherwise, we will forget the future. We have to focus on who we're becoming. We have to focus on what is at stake. We have to focus on the potential, the purpose, the mission at hand. And so I want to give you some calls to action now to help you pull the slack and really have some great summer days. All right, so number 1, I want you to wake up even earlier than you're used to. For real. Like, wake up even earlier this summer. Take the summer, practice mastering the morning, and wake up even earlier than you would during school year. Even earlier than you would during college, even earlier than you would when you were doing job training, even earlier than, your first month of marriage, even earlier. Like, go even earlier. Like, the goal is not to see how little you can do. The goal is to see how much you can grow. So wake up even earlier than you're used to. If this point really hits home for you, then I'm asking you, I'm in a few places, but Instagram is the main one. And so just do like a little quote and just put at my name and just drop that quote. I'm going to wake up earlier than I'm used to. I'm going to master the morning this summer. I'm not getting in any summer days this year. I'm going to lead myself. I'm going to prepare to go there. And let me just kind of get some clues at where the community is. And if you want to go even deeper, we can go into the tactics of how do you actually remember how awesome it is to get ahead, to lead yourself, to beat the sun, to find the Lord in the morning time, right? to do the things that are valuable, to find that hidden time in the day so you can work on the hidden leadership potential in your life. So wake up even earlier than you're used to. I've been waking up early. I've had fun with it, but then I just thought, my routine is good, but I need something to kind of spice it up. What do I do? And instead of breaking it down to something simpler, I said, man, you know what I need? I really would like a challenge. I think I'd actually be more fired up if I had something to challenge me. I don't think I need a break. I think I need a reason to keep going. I'm not looking for excuses to quit. I need a reason to commit. So I said, let's go for it. Let's try it. And so I started waking up even earlier. And to my shock, it was less of a struggle waking up even earlier than I'm used to. And I don't know why. I literally don't know why. I mean, maybe there's a few things here and there, but we can talk about that later. And so wake up even earlier than you're used to. 15 minutes earlier than you're used to. 30 minutes earlier than you're used to. See, with the summer days, what we think is, well, I'm not going to school, so I don't have to wake up as early. No, you got to wake up earlier because you won't have the school stuff taking up a lot of your time, so you can actually invest more of your time into habits that are going to stick, projects that are going to, blow up in a good way. Like, this is go time. Summertime is go time. It's not the time just to coast. It's the time to climb. It's not the time just to chill. It's the time to charge. This is your time. Are you waking up for it? Are you showing up for it? Are you just opting out? Are you forfeiting? Are you just in some summer days? And then you're going to look. This is what always happens, man. You wake up after your summer days and you look across the hall, or you look across, the internet, and you see someone and you're like, whoa, how did they bulk up like that? How did they make that money? Where did they find that girl? Where did they find that guy? when did they, blah, blah, blah. And we're in the summer days and we don't realize, oh, wow, they took advantage of time in a way that I didn't. And that's not to put shame on anybody, but I'm going to try to motivate you from as many hope-filled angles as possible. You can make a difference. You can go the distance. You can lead yourself. You can prepare to go there. So waking up even earlier is just the first practical action that I want you to work on. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on fewer, bigger projects. We're going to work on fewer, bigger projects. Sometimes what happens with summertime is we just kind of get into maintenance mode, right? You're like, well, it's short, so we're just going to wait until the fall, and then we'll do this in the fall, and then we'll try that in the fall, and we'll just kind of see what happens in the fall. You know what I'm saying? The fall. But summertime is game time. Summertime, it's short, but it's powerful. And so you've got to see it more like a sprint, or you've got to see it more like, fourth quarter or ninth inning, or, the runway, the tarmac, where an airplane's about to take off. It's not like you got more road to keep running. Like, either you take off or something bad's going to happen. You're going to miss out. You're not flying. You might just be a very awkward looking car at that point, but but there is a go, no go point. And so you have to lean into the countdown clock, streamline what you think you're working on. And instead of doing 1,000 smaller tasks or low value tasks, identify the few effective projects and go bigger and say, you know what, this is something that I would really want to go for. This is something I would really want to practice. This is something I'd really want to produce. This is something that I would be really proud of. And I like to take the picture test. And what I mean by that is, what picture do you want to take at the end of the summer? You want to take a picture of, the way you're going to look after you crush it and you wake up every day and you go running? Or do you want to take a picture of, like for us, it's our home. And that was a big, big project. And we're putting a lot into it this summer. We have fewer projects, not a lot of activity in terms of, we're not going to be able to go everywhere and do everything. But guess what? We're going to have fewer, bigger projects. And we're going to look back and we're going to have so many pictures that we're thankful for, that we're proud of, that we can share, and we can say, hey, that season of our life was effective. That season of our life produced that big thing and that big thing and that big thing. And there was a season in our marriage story where Sarah Joy and I, we traveled a lot and we had fun. We were traveling in some big ways. Like, we did multiple international trips in the same year, and it was a blast. And then there was a time we took multiple trips to Disney. Didn't really plan on it, just ended up happening. And we're like, wow, that was so much fun. And like, all in this compressed time. Thankfully, it was all before, 2020. But aim at the bigger projects and devote more time and get really focused on a few big things. And here's what we normally do. We reduce our checklist to the fewer, smaller projects. Oh, it's summer, summertime. I'm just chilling this summer. I'm just riding things out this summer. I'm just waiting until somebody needs more of me, expects more of me, calls me to the carpet, and then I'll take this stuff seriously. I'm going to wait till a doctor calls me to the carpet. I'm going to wait till my spouse calls me to the carpet. I'm going to wait. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, don't just work on fewer, smaller projects, but say, I'm going to focus on a few bigger projects. Like, how can I go even bigger in my impact, my output? How can I serve people even more? What can I do? It's like that quote from before, you can only see so far, but even in that short span that you can see, you're going to see plenty to work on, plenty to be doing. So work on fewer, bigger projects. Number 3, I want you to listen to someone a few steps further than you are. Listen to someone a few steps further than you are. This summer, if you want to keep pace with your potential, with your purpose, your mission, if you want to make a difference, go the distance, lead yourself, prepare to go there, you're going to have to keep tracking with people that are learning and living and leading at a higher level. Because if you're just kind of looking around you and everybody is kind of on the same level as you, or even, behind you in some ways, you're going to think you're good. But the truth is, there is somebody putting it in harder than you right now. There's somebody growing in their leadership. There's someone that's excelling right now. There's someone who is like, and this isn't just about works, but this is about the appetites in our heart and the focus and the willingness and the commitments that we're taking on. Like, this is a season to advance. This should be one of your greatest seasons ever, if you can only put it in that perspective. If you could really see this season for what it is. And so many people, they're interpreting the facts the wrong way. They're looking at the evidence around them, and it convinces them to somehow back down or somehow slow down. And that's not what you could or should be doing at all. What if this was actually downtime, so that way you could advance, you could double down on your progress, on your goals, on what's possible? And you're not going to feel that urgency. You're not going to glean from that experience unless and until you find people that are a few steps further than you. Now, this refers to mentoring. Mentorship is a big deal. I think it'd be amazing if you could pursue 1 or 2 or 3 mentor moments this summer to say, hey, between now and September, I'm going to intentionally go after relational mentorship with 1, 2, or 3, or, these people. And there's other ways you can do this. There's actually a whole framework. There's a whole process. There's a step-by-step way to find, attract, appreciate, reciprocate great mentors. There's actually a proven way to do it. I've been, thankfully, the byproduct of amazing mentorship for many, many years in my life. I can't take credit for it, but I have learned a lot from it. And I'd be happy to share that. So if you're interested, just, send some word my way through Instagram or through email or some other form. But listen to someone a few steps further than you. I have found that just listening to a podcast can really help you accelerate. And so you'll have different categories in your life. Maybe it's finances or health or your faith journey or leadership or a hobby. And it's great to listen to a variety of thought leaders, a variety of practitioners, a variety of mentors. Because what's happening is every time you're listening, you're leaning into that conversation and you're taking steps in that direction. And what happens with the summer days is it's not that you stopped wanting to get better at health, or you stopped wanting to make more money or invest or grow or figure out that stuff. I mean, that's stuff that you've been journaling about, praying about, talking about, thinking about. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? You just think it's an inconvenient time because it's not on your front burner anymore. Somehow the future ended up on the back burner again. But when someone starts talking, that's all it takes to reignite that fire, to reignite that focus, to reignite that passion, to say, you know what, it does matter. Man, I'm getting fired up just listening to someone talk about whatever that is again. Man, somebody was talking about real estate. Man, I knew I wanted to get into real estate. How do I do that? How do I, or maybe it's coding. Maybe you're listening to somebody talk about computer coding. You're like, dang it, I want to computer code. I know I can do it. I want to figure it out. Man, I just got discouraged for a little bit, but listening to that person, I'm back on the trail. I want to get back on that trail. On and on and on again. So you need to find someone or a few people that are a few steps further than you and keep that conversation going. Keep that faith journey going. Keep that relationship inspiration going. Keep that financial wisdom going. Keep those health hacks, wisdom going. Whatever you're thinking about growing into, you need to keep listening. And that's why, honestly, I'm totally down with just creating content and being that voice of encouragement and just being that person that's just going to show up, because you need somebody who's just going to keep talking about you and your future and just say, hey, you're doing great. Keep going. Hey, even if today wasn't great, you'll have tomorrow. Show up again. And listening helps us to keep leading. Now, they're not going to do it for you. They're not going to take those steps for you, but they are going to contribute, and they're going to help you to lead yourself. So that's on you. Identify a few great podcasts and or mentors that you can reach out to, or both. All right, number 4. Schedule your entire day around growth. When I wrote this, I thought about weight gaining, and just getting heavier. And it's like, yeah, I'm scheduling my day around growth. I'm eating 4, 5, 6 times a day because it's summertime. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I mean. Schedule your day around growth. Here's one practical thing I'm talking about. Your habits. Your habits are one of the most practical, near, immediate, close to the ground, low-hanging fruit things that can help you grow. If you just keep doing the work, if you just keep putting in the habits, you will grow. If you just keep 1% better every day, like literally, if you just show up and just exert the effort every single day, there's growth there. But I have found that we don't schedule growth in. We don't schedule. Every part of my day is both present and preparing. Let me say that again. Every part of my day can be both present and preparing. For instance, when I'm spending time with Sarah Joy, my wife, I am present with her, but I'm also investing in the longevity of our relationship. Man, I want to be there for her today because I love her in every way, and I want to spend and enjoy the rest of my life with her. And so there is an immediate benefit, sure, hanging out, company, enjoyment, intimacy, whatever. But what I'm doing in that moment also has a future as well. There's a ripple effect of positivity. There's a ripple effect of blessing. I'll give you another example. Reading a book. Man, just go find a book and be present and read a book. But you know what? If you pick the right book, it wasn't just something to read today, but it was something that would help you one day as well. So that's what I'm saying. Find things that are going to help you in the present, but also help you in the sense of preparing. Like, yeah, you could read some spam emails you're reading, but that's not preparing you for the future. I mean, you're just kind of using up time. You didn't get an automator. You didn't figure out a way to cut that out. So schedule things in your day. Like working out is wonderful. It's helpful. It's good. It can be enjoyable. Yes, there's this challenge and you're doing this uphill stuff, but it is also hugely beneficial. You feel better after you work out. You might be sore, but mentally, man, you're just focused. You're alert. You're active. You're excited. And then also, what'd you do? You're putting in habits that's helping you with residual strength, with training that's necessary for where you're going. So again, over and over, you need to just be assessing and processing your day-to-day today's schedule and schedule in growth. Say, man, where do I want to grow? How do I want to grow? And you can look at it from an achievement standpoint and say, what do I want to achieve one day? Okay, well, let me reverse engineer it and let's factor it in every single day. I got to put time in every single day or every single week to make that achievement happen. Or it could be some sort of identity piece, some sort of habit that you need to be working towards. But you're scheduling in growth. How do you want to grow? Who do you want to become? Where do you want to get better? And dream and have that hope-filled attitude to fuel you forward. All right. And then number 5, last but not least, don't take any relationship for granted right now. Summertime is a great time. I think one of the best uses of our time is to stay intentional about being relational. Don't take any relationship for granted right now. When we get in the summer days, when you're just kind of going through the motions, you're not being intentional about hanging out with people. You're not being intentional about doing acts of service for other people. You're not being intentional about picking up the phone and saying, hey, just checking on you. How are you doing? What's going on? You're kind of in this summer buzz, and you expect they're in that summer buzz. But guess what's going to happen? Summer's going to come and go. You're going to look back and there will be missed opportunities. And then you and whoever that person are, you're going to just be a little bit further apart. Just a little bit further apart. Don't let this be the time frame where things become distant and awkward or estranged. But just continue to warm your heart with intentionality towards others. Be other-minded right now. Focus on how you can add value to them. Focus on how can you support them? How could you pray for them? How would you encourage them? How would you hang out with them? And make this summer one of the funnest summers you can. Make this summer enjoyable. Make this summer relationally enriched. It'll be good for your soul. It'll be good for your future. Come on, find some friends for your future. Go the distance, make a difference, and don't wait until they reach out to you. Come on. You take initiative, you reach out to them. And I'm not saying that everyone is going to be able to hang out with you equal time, equal access. I'm not saying that, but identify, man, who should I be prioritizing right now in this summer season or this phase of my life? And then how am I going to take intentional steps towards them? And let me not get in this funk, this relational, emotional funk where really isolation has been normalized and polarization has been popularized, but instead don't write anybody off. Just focus on leading yourself. And then as you get opportunities, walk through those open doors and try to be as generous as you can, particularly with the key relationships that are going to unlock your future. And you may already know who some of those key relationships are. You may not know who those key relationships are. And that's where you really have to have some humility and some willingness just to put yourself out there again and to make friends and to reach out and to be kind. Kindness goes a long way. Goes a long, long way. It doesn't mean you're a pushover. Doesn't mean you allow people to take advantage of you. But I feel like there's a way that you can remain authentic and be generous in a very impactful way. All right, next week. No, not next week. Come on now. We're going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow. See, that's what we got to do. This is the summertime. We're not getting into summer days. You see how I did that? Boom, bang, boom, bang, boom. Summer days. Don't do things weekly if you can do it daily. Show up, put in the work, lead yourself. You're going to look back. You're going to have so much to share, so much to show, so much to be thankful for, so much to give away, so much to draw from. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I will be back and I will be sharing what a lifestyle of preparation looks like. What does it look like to orient your whole life around the calling that's on your life and do it in a way that's enjoyable, do it in a way that is helpful, do it in a way that is sustainable. Sometimes we get super excited about, bulking up or learning something or trying something or launching something, and it's not sustainable. How do we make it a lifestyle? How do we make this a lifestyle? How do we make preparation a part of our everyday, even after we get another job or another level or another season or another chapter? Like, are you going to keep preparing after that? Yeah, hopefully. Do you know how? Do you know what preparation looks like practically and tactically? Do you know what preparation means on a personal level? And then how would you prepare as a lifestyle and not just as a program? So those are some of the icebreaker ideas that's going to help us have a great conversation there. I really appreciate you being on, sharing this coaching conversation. I imagine when I'm sharing this that some of you have just kind of put me on a shelf somewhere and you've just totally forgotten. You've forgotten about me over there and you just leave this running and then you just go do the thing you need to do. Maybe you go walking, maybe you go working out, maybe you're cooking dinner, or maybe you're writing, that book that you're making the outlines, or you're prepping for something next week, or you're working on your calendar or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, I'm in that zone. I'm ready to do great work. I'm ready to lead myself. I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to show out. I'm ready to be productive. I'm ready to, to go crush it. And maybe that's just my style. That's something that I, enjoy doing. I'll listen. I'm listening to other people that are encouraging, motivating, discerning, maybe challenging, and I'm just letting it happen. It's not like I have to be totally locked in. But if you are one of those people that you're totally locked in, you've been taking notes and you've been, punctual and you got gold star attendance on all of these, thank you. You are the MVP, and I need more viewers, more participants like you too. So thank you to everybody who's joining and jumping into this coaching conversation. I just cannot wait. I'm so thrilled. I'm so eager. I'm so hopeful to have these future conversations with friends that say, hey, I really didn't know how to lead myself, but seeing and hearing a little bit of your story kind of set me on my path, and it got me through this one point. And then I was able to navigate some new chapters, further than that. But I want to come full circle and just say, look at what I'm doing now, or really, I want to invest in people and friendships that will eventually go far, far further than I will go. And I still want to just have that bond and that connection to say, I believe in you. I'm thankful for you. I'm your friend. And I'm blown away that I could just have a front row seat in your story. in your success. Like, that's pretty cool too. So either way, whether people are sharing appreciation my way or I get to share appreciation their way, we all win in the process. Prepare to go there. Guys, it would really, really help and encourage me to keep making this content, to keep going with the coaching, if I can just get some feedback from y'all, and also see you in the email community. And then from the email community, you'll be getting the fail-proof planning guide, which is absolutely free. And then also all the updates about content and the courses as they are rolling out. So stay awesome, guys. Remember, you're going places. So let's make today count. Let's prepare to go there.